So, coming out of the yeshiva, Yam HaChochma, Sea of Wisdom. So let's come over the Parsha. This is really for the Parsha of this week, or the week that passed, because I'm saying this year right now, Motzoi Shabbat, Parshas Shoftim. But I got a chance on Shabbos to look at this, and I thought it would be nice to share this and share some of these ideas. The first pasuk, I'll read it in English. You shall make judges and officers in all your gates, which Hashem your God gives you, tribe by tribe, and they shall judge the people with righteous judgment. Justice you shall pursue, that you may live and inherit the land which Hashem your God gives you. Now Rashi explains that justice you shall pursue, that phrase. Seek out a proper based in. Proper means, he says, beautiful, a beautiful based in. That you may live and inherit. The appointment of worthy judges is important. It's important enough to ensure the life of the Jewish people and their restoration to their land. So, it's a little blurb we'll get here, and we'll read this little bit here because he has some nice Kabbalah in this. We first need to understand the significance of the proper based in. What does that mean, that beautiful based in? Literally the court that is Yafeh, beautiful. Kabbalists taught that the word Yafeh, that word, alludes to the ultimate future, when there will be a unification of the Shemus Havaya, which refers to the male force in the world, or one opposite, and Adni, which refers to the female force. They're also known as their Anpin and Malchus. This is in contrast with the unification associated with the present time, which is that of Havaya and Adni. It's the same thing. So what exactly is he saying the difference? Which has a combined gematria of 91. The distinction between them is expressed in the concluding affirming phrase, Amen Selah, where it says after this, it says, and let it be Amen, which is also the gematria of 91. Amen Selah alludes to the unification of this present time. Its gematria is accordingly 91, which is Havaya Adni. Selah, however, expresses finality, and it alludes to the unification of the future world. Its gematria is accordingly 95, as that of the word Yafeh. So that's beauty. The ultimate unification is beautiful. The beautiful and proper court that one should seek when pursuing justice. Justice is itself associated with Malchus and kingship. During these days of Tshuva, leading up to the Yomim Noaroim, every single one of us must judge himself honestly to be able to crown Hashem as king over himself. This is talking about Rosh Hashanah now, which is a time of announcing the kingship of Hashem. The Maggid taught that one can see the outcome of his heavenly judgment on Rosh Hashanah by closely evaluating the quality of his divine service here below. His own self-judgment of his divine service, his own scrutiny of his thoughts and intentions during the Torah study and prayer, have a lot to teach him about what his judgment above is like. As the day of judgment draws near, because we are coming now into the period right before Rosh Hashanah, we enter into the realm of you shall make judges and officers in all your gates. Everyone seized by fear and trembling of what is to come, since who is considered righteous before you? For this reason, the Torah teaches us precisely this time to pursue justice, to follow the attribute of Malchus, that you may live and inherit, so that the Shekhinah will bring us to make the Yichud and unification of the ultimate future, the beautiful Yichud symbolized by the based in Yafeh. Now, sound the shofar on the new month. The Zohar teaches that when the day of judgment arrives, Rosh Hashanah, which is 3 weeks away, the Sultan launches accusations against the Jewish people. Hashem then tells the Sultan to bring 2 witnesses as proof, and he begins the sun, which represents their Anpin, and then seeketh a second witness, which is the moon, to no avail. Now, what's the metaphor here? When the Jewish people sound the shofar, then the Shekhinah, which is represented by the moon, goes into hiding in a very lofty place. This is the inner meaning of the pasuk. Bekise liyom chagenu. I slept out a little bit. Tiku b'chodesh shofar. Bekise leGilgal chagenu. Sound the shofar on the new month. It is a hiding place. A kise covers it over for the day of our festivals. The Shekhinah then seeks to appease Hashem and advocate on behalf of the Jewish people, and deprives the Sultan of the ability to accuse the Jewish people. In preparation for Rosh Hashanah, then, it is vital that we pursue justice, that we seek after the Shekhinah so that she can rise to the necessary hidden place where the injunction holds sway. Do not delve into that which is hidden from you. Thus, the Jewish people have the custom of reciting Tikkun Zohar during the month of Elul to bind themselves to the Shekhinah. This is also why they give additional tzedakah and say a great deal of Tehillim to empower the Shekhinah and to pursue justice, to seek out the Shekhinah so that Hashem will remember us for the good and bless us with a sweet new year. Now, this is an interesting thing that he brings up here in this little piece right now. We'll read this, and that's maybe all for tonight. He says, Hevel gazed at the Shekhinah. Now, he said the Torah recounts, I Hevel achicho, that Hashem said to Cain, where is Hevel, your brother? So he said the Arizal taught that Hevel caused spiritual damage to the letters Aleph and Yud of the name of the Shem Adni. So that's the two letters on the outsides. It leaves inside the word Din, which represents the Shekhinah. So he says the name Adni, of course, goes along with Malchus Shekhinah. Hevel gazed at the Shekhinah more than was proper, and this is what caused his death and the death of all of his descendants. What does this really mean? Hevel realized that davening and cleaving to the Shekhinah is a very important and precious avoda in Hashem's eyes, and that this is what really defines a perfect person as a faithful servant of the King. In truth, Hashem does indeed want every Jew to pursue the Shekhinah, as the pasuk says, Ki im bezos yishalel hamitzhalel hasechel v'yodea osi v'yadu osi. Rather, he that glories shall glory in this, that he understands and knows me. So this glorifying is unique to the tzaddikim who bind themselves to the Shekhinah. However, Hevel erred by focusing on the Shekhinah and causing damage to the letters Aleph and Yud of the name Adni, leaving us with Din. Now, exactly what does that mean? The Shekhinah is always with us, even when a person sins. This is alluded to in the pasuk, you were rebellious against Hashem. The literal translation is with Hashem. We also see this from the fact that we recite the confession in plural language, and from Yehuda's statement of guilt where he said, Be Adoni, please, my Lord, which can also be read as my Lord is with me. Since this is the case, what then was Hevel's error in gazing at the Shekhinah, since that's what you're supposed to do? A word which implies too much focus. Although one must initially realize that Hashem is always with us everywhere, even when we sin, for he is both immanent and transcendent. Nevertheless, one must immediately ascend with this awareness to the higher place of tshuva. That's what a person needs to do to try to come back, and not remain in the lower place of breakage and sin. This is related to the Kabbalistic teachings about the lower limbs of Netzach Hod Yesod within the world of Atik, which is very, very pneumistic, very close to the light of the Ein Sof, which from the root form the root of the Shekhinah, as hinted in the pasuk, and the crown of kingship was upon his head. They rise up from the world of Berea, where they vitalize the fallen Nitzutzos, where the divine sparks that are trapped in the lower world. They're in the world of the Shavira, of breakage, which is associated with sin, and raise them up to the world of Atzilus, the world of the Tikkun. So he says like this, he says, however, it's forbidden to remain for long in the world of breakage. One must instead return to Hashem with thoughts of tshuva, so that the sin is uprooted completely and disappears. The truth is, let me see if I can move this up a little bit. So that the truth is that the separate worlds of Bria, Yetzir, and Asiya, which are called Bia, are not really down below, as appears to be the case since the sin of Adam and Rishon, that everything fell. So that makes them down below. Really, their main place is above, where they really belong, bound up together with the world of Atzilus, as will be the case in the ultimate future. Therefore, it's wrong to damage the Shekhinah by focusing too much on the fact that she is presently dwelling in the lower possible places, which is with us. Rather, one must know that Malchus extends down through all the worlds, and immediately bind the Shekhinah back up again to the highest places and to Hashem's light through the power of one's thought. The kav, the line that draws down Hashem's infinite light into the lower worlds of Bria, Yetzir, and Asiya, known as Bia, does not actually descend lower than the world of Atzilus. It merely shines the light from its place in a refracted way. In other words, we don't get the light of the Shekhinah. We get a refracted light. We get a radiance from that light. Just as the kav does not descend, so too the worlds themselves do not actually descend. He says that actually they're not really descended. They only appear to do so after the damaging effect of the sin of Adam HaRishon. However, in the ultimate future, when his feet will stand upon the Mount of Olives, the Mount of Olives, which represents the lower worlds of Bria, Yetzir, and Asiya, they're very physical, they will be shown to have always been bound up with the world of Atzilus, but nonetheless they're always part of Atzilus. There was never really any fall or obscuring of Hashem's presence. All of this is accomplished by not focusing on the Shekhinah's apparent descent into the place of breakage and sin, and by immediately rising out of that place to the light of Hashem's presence associated with the world of Atzilus. It's a little bit difficult to put it all together, but he's saying that, in fact, everything really is together the way that it's supposed to be, but its appearance is that there's separation. This is Baruch Fleischman. We've been listening to the Sea of Wisdom from Rabbi Yitzchak Meir Morganstern.